Hi everyone, it is time for another Advent type colouring from Agotapop's Christmas Magic Tiny Illustrations. The page I've chosen today is this page. We've only done one thing on this page and we are going to be doing this house here. This is like, looks to me, let's come in closer so you can see, like a gingerbread house. So I thought that would be nice. I'm sure there's plenty of gingerbread houses on various pages if you don't have this particular page to colour. Now I'm going to start with the gingerbread bit. I find it quite hard to colour, I have to say. But what I'm going to do is start with a sort of neutralish brown. This is the brown ochre, Polychromos pencils, by the way. And we're going to do this. Now there's snow on this gingerbread house, and quite often when I colour snow, I have a sort of technique for colouring snow, but I'm not sure it'll work for icing, because this snow is icing effectively, isn't it? It's not snow. So it's a different, by the way, I'm just trying to make this even-ish. Now because it's gingerbread and it's a biscuit, it doesn't need to be perfectly even, so don't worry about getting it really even, but I'm just getting a nice medium pressure layer of colour down. Oh, I forgot my wrist warmers. I was going to get them. It feels extra cold in here because this desk gets so cold, and then I'm leaning my hands on it. If my wrist had, oh well, never mind, next time. I did get a coffee, so that might help, but it's too hot to drink at the moment. Anyway, yes, so doing icing is a little bit different to colouring snow. So I'm going to have a little think about that, because when I do snow I often do it blue or purple. And then because you're outside, it could be because it's a bit dark and, you know, that sort of thing. But we're not, well, we might be outside, but I don't think we're outside, you know. And so I'm just changing something I've written down. I wrote down what I was doing for this video and I changed my mind, so I've just had to change it. Now we're going to go for a darker brown. This is the burnt sienna. I'm thinking we've got a really treacly gingerbread here, but I want to put some shadows in as well. Under the icing and things, it would be a bit, there'd be some shadows. So we're going to do that first. And around these bits here, which I think are sweets, like this. Now, I have never made a gingerbread house. It's just something we never did. I don't think it was very traditional in the UK when I was growing up to do it. You can get kits now because, you know, supermarkets tend to embrace all traditions that they can to try and get you to buy more, but also because of different cultures and things, you know, living in the UK, which I think is nice, to sort of, you know, try to be more inclusive. That's the word, inclusive, which is good. So people do them these days, and they're fun, they look fun, but no, it's not something I've ever done or eaten even. But we did used to sometimes have gingerbread biscuits. Now I've done the edge, I'm going to scumble a little bit on in places like this. I want it to look like we've got a bit of texture in our biscuit, so I'm just sort of making dashes and lines and dots. I might just look like I've scribbled all over it, but I hope not. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, we used to buy biscuits, ginger nuts they were called. I think you can still buy them and have those, but they would just be a general all round, all times of the year type biscuit. So we've got little pits and dots to try and make our gingerbread look a little bit more textured. And in a book, Jennifer Zimmerman's book, she tells you to then go make a mark just above each of your little pit marks with some cream. Now I don't know how well this will show up with Polychromos, but apparently it makes them look a little bit more 3D if you put a bit of cream above them. I'm trying this out. I don't know if it's really going to work very well. And my dots are a bit faint and random, but to be honest, I think her tutorial either uses light fast, no, I'm lying, either uses what are they called, luminance, the Caran d'Ache pencils, or Prismacolor, I can't quite remember, and it would work better in there. So it hasn't really done anything very much, but anyway, we're done then. I'm quite happy with that. I don't need more. Next, I'm going to do around the door. We've got this sort of stripy thing going on. I'm going to get some red in there, Christmas, like a candy cane red. Got a candy cane here. We're not going to colour the candy cane. We did one 2 days ago, did a candy cane. So if you missed that, you can go back and have a little look. But we're going to do red to start with. Deep red. Now, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put a really intense bit here and less towards the middle, like that. I haven't decided whether I'm doing this red and white or whether I'm going to do it red and green. I've seen red and green stripe things as well. It's a bit more colourful, isn't it? Because we've got all this icing, that's the word, icing. And so that's going to be white. I am going to try and put some shadows on that. Yeah, I'm procrastinating that bit for a while. I will have a go. So I'm thinking maybe if I make this green and red, it will still look nice and festive, but it won't be too much white in my picture. I'm never sure what shade of green to use, but I'm going to try this leaf green. And I'm just going to do the same as I did with the red, so a bit more layered up on the edge, leaving that little white line so that it looks like we've got a consistent shine going all the way around, which helps to give it a shiny look, but also a bit three-dimensional look at the same time. There we go. There it is. Oh, I think it looks okay with green. And it does look like it's rounded and sticking out from the rest, which I quite like. I mean, how on earth you would bend something to do that, I've got no idea. We won't ask. It's the baker's secret. Now, the little sweets that are all round, I want to do them nice and bright and colourful. Just like sweetie colours. So I'm going to start with a purple violet and just work round. I'm going to make it symmetrical, because if I was making a house with sweeties on, that's how I would do it. So, but I'm going to try and make that slightly lighter in the middle. Can you see that? So that it looks like a rounded sweet. I'm thinking Smarties would be my sweet of choice. I don't think you get them in all countries. A Smartie is basically a chocolate. I think they're Nestle, aren't they? So chocolate with a crisp outer candy shell. So I guess it's a little bit like an M&M's. It's a different shape. It's like a shape of a mint straw. You might not get those either. I don't know. It's a slightly flat and rounded. Now I'm just talking nonsense. We're going to go for a yellow sweet next. This is quite a dark yellow, the cadmium. And yeah, so I would use the Smartie. So I'm thinking of all the colours that Smarties come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a different size. Oh, we've got a different amount. Oh well, never mind. There goes my symmetrical idea. Maybe I shouldn't have started. Oh, never mind. I can't go back, so I'll have to figure it out. Orange next. Orange. This is orange glaze. Orange Smarties. Yesterday's video, I'm sure I said that I used orange glaze, but I couldn't have done because it was short. It was this one. It was the cadmium orange. I used the wrong pencil. I better change that in my description. Cadmium orange. Whoops, never mind. I wonder if anyone noticed. I might have shown the name to camera and then said the wrong one. How confusing. I'm really sorry. Never mind. Hopefully I wasn't that confusing. There we go. Pink next, I think. Here we go. Pink Madder Lake. Now I'm just gonna insert a pink one here and then do the next, not do one on the other side to try and make it look like it's even though it isn't. I hope that's not confusing. Emerald green, I'm just sharpening up next. Emerald green, I can't remember if there are green Smarties. It's a long time since I had them. They used to be such fun and now they're not. In that the containers, I've told this story many times before. The containers used to be a long cardboard tube, fine. And there was a plastic lid and a cardboard end. And you could push the cardboard end into the tube and remove it and take it away. I mean, that's why they don't have it anymore, because I mean, that's not good, is it? And I'm going to use this middle cadmium red for the last one. So then, if you put the plastic lid on loosely, you could blow hard, like into the end of the Smartie tube, and the little plastic lid would fly across the room. It was brilliant. Can you imagine what fun that was? Such fun. Of course, they've spoilt the fun now by making it a hexagonal container made of just cardboard that's all one piece, that's fully recyclable. Of course, it's much better for the environment, but you know, it's no fun anymore. Sad. Right, we've got the ones along the top. I'm actually going to do, it's a tiny bit of gingerbread chimney. Never mind, I'll do that later. I'm going to do the heart first because I want to do that in a nice sort of pinky, reddy pink. I'm going to use this colour. Ooh, I can't reach it, it's so far away. Oh, there we go. It's the pompeian red, and then it'll help me decide what other colours to use. Yes, so it's obviously all recyclable and also much more hygienic, because if someone could sort of push the end in, they might put something inside, I don't know. Anyway, but still, it was such fun. I remember I only remember doing it at my grandfather's house. Maybe my mum didn't let me. She used to, on a particular day of the week, can't remember, she would go off shopping with her sister, who lived with her father, looked after him, you know, and leave me and my sister with our grandfather. We would babysit each other. He was quite capable. Light red violet. He was retired, you see, and we would stay behind. And so maybe it was then when we would do it, when my mum and aunt weren't there. Oh, such fun, happy memories. It was interesting, actually. I was talking to my husband about Christmas. Funny that. This is, I can't see it, dark cadmium yellow. And I was saying to him how my sister really loves watching people open presents. Whether they're presents from her or other people, she just really enjoys watching people open presents. And some of her family do as well, some of her children. And I said to him about it, he said, I couldn't think of anything worse. I hate it. He said, I don't mind watching our children open the presents that we bought them, sort of thing. But he said, when I was little, this is juniper green I'm going for next. He said, when I was little, my parents always got loads and loads of presents. They would get presents from friends, people from the church that they went to, people from work, that sort of thing, only addressed to them. And it would be things like bottles of wine, things like that. So things that the children couldn't have, you know. Dark cadmium orange. He said they would get a couple of presents, one from their parents, and he said the stocking was the most exciting thing. It was always full of practical presents and some chocolate. So, you know, chocolate's always going to be exciting, isn't it? Now you notice I'm avoiding blue. There are no blue Smarties. There used to be. They did a few blue Smarties. They weren't nice. I don't know if they do them anymore, but I refuse to colour a blue Smartie. So I'm not. I'm just checking my messages. I think my son's, oh, he sent me something and put ignore. That's fine. Sometimes he just sends me something he wants to remember for later. So that's fine. Not going to worry about that. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do another pink. I'm going to do this one. This is the middle purple pink. Anyway, so he said him and his brother would get a present from parents, and they just have to sit and watch their parents open all these presents and not have any themselves. And I said, didn't you get anything from your grandparents? And he was like, well, no, because they lived in France over the winter, so they didn't do presents because they were too far away. And I said, well, what about Mata? Sorry, you can see it there. I said, what about your aunt and uncle? I remember them giving you a present at one point. And he said, if they didn't visit, they didn't bring a present. They didn't post one. So if they weren't visiting, there wasn't a present. And if they were visiting, it wasn't left to Christmas Day. Or it wasn't on Christmas Day, so they didn't get that. So he can just remember having hardly any presents. It's really sad. And so I always buy stockings for everybody. Children, close your ears. And so he gets one from me, and I've got to do one. I've done nothing. I mean, fortunately, it isn't the 10th of December. It is only November. But usually I'm all done by now, pretty much, like magenta, but I've got nothing. But I've got a few ideas, and tomorrow I'm going to have an opportunity to do a little bit of shopping. So that's good. And I might have tomorrow is the day. Last colour I'm going to do is sort of light green. And there's quite a lot of green, isn't it? Grass green, why not? So I always get him a stocking. I'm going to actually go to the toy shop and get him some Lego. He loves Lego. I'm so out of ideas. We used to have a tradition where we always had a Lego minifigure in the stocking. Now we need to do this little tiny bit of gingerbread on the edge of the chimney. So I've got to go back to those colours. Luckily I keep them all out, so I know what I'm doing. This is brown ochre. So remember, we put the brown ochre down as a base. It's such a small area, it won't take long at all. And then we've got the burnt sienna. Whoops, here. I think I just drew with it only. No, I didn't. And around the edge, underneath the snow, and a few blips. It's quite difficult to put much in without it just looking all this colour, so I've just sort of blobbed it about a bit. It's a very technical technique. You won't be able to do it. It's a really practiced technique, blobbing, you know. Now, our door. I quite like the idea of the door being made of chocolate. What do you think? So I am going to get the Van Dyck brown, and that's going to be my door. So so I've got to get that. I saw some fun other things that the toy shop had, and I know he's a grown-up, but he does like things like unicorn stickers for his notebooks. I know, and it's okay. And what else does he like? I can't think. But the problem is he's going to be with me, so I'm going to have to ask him to not come in the shop and let me do a bit on my own, I'm sure. But he'll want to go in there because he likes going in the toy shop. So anyway, we'll see. So I get him a few bits, and there were some bag clips I noticed they had, which I thought he might like. I can't remember what the themes was, Minecraft and Pokemon, which I don't think he's into. Well, I know he's not into. Door handle, I'm thinking let's do a sweetie again. What colour? Let's go fuchsia pink. Gosh, so many colours. I think I'm using the whole tin. But it's nice and colourful, isn't it? I think it needs, I'd like a gingerbread house with lots of colour. There we go. Now, we have this sign which says Xmas. Now it looks to me like it's wood, but I don't want to colour a dark brown. It's going to cover up the words. I mean, I could cover up the words and then write back over them with white pen, or I could keep it light. And I'm just trying to think, because the gingerbread house is all edible. So what would it be? Could it be some white chocolate? But how on earth would I colour that? No, let's not do that. It's the only thing I can think of is chocolate. So and I've gone over the edge a bit as well with some brown. So maybe if I try and do it with a lighter chocolatey colour, lighter than the door. I'm going to grab this raw umber, see what happens. It's a bit too, it's quite similar to the colour of the gingerbread, isn't it? So I'm going to put it down a bit darker. I am going to write the word back in white, I've decided. So that could be a little chunk of chocolate which is iced. But I'll have to do that wording at the end. So let me just put my pen there so I remember. I need a bit more space. There we go. Did you hear the pencils? I need the pencils to roll out the way. There we go. Right. So I'm just checking. All we have left is snow and the smoke coming out of the chimney. Now, as I said, often with snow I use blue or purple. I think I'm going to use a little bit of purple on the icing, but try and do it really lightly. Here's the violet. So tempted to go and get my light violet, but that's very naughty. So I'm drawing a line all the way around the edge. Can you see? Quite lightly. And I'm sort of using the lines that are already there, like that. Okay. And do the same on this bit of snow at the bottom as well. There we go. I'm just going to check my battery level. Yeah, I thought it was getting a bit low. We're okay. So now I go from here, start colouring and fading up. It's a bit easier for me to show you from down here. So what I want to do is colour here and just fade up to there. Now it does look a bit purple, but I think the purple looks a bit more attractive than had I done it blue, because it's icing and I don't like eating blue food. My kids have got this joke where they go, "What's a blue food?" "Blueberry." "Blueberry's not a food." And they go on about, I don't know where it's from. And then they giggle. I mean, they're 20. They think it's hilarious. I'm like, what is this? I'm just too old. I like a joke, but I just was like, why is that so funny? So there we go. So I've probably done that a little bit too dark, really, but it's done. And we got the chimney to do too. There we go, and just a bit up there like that. And I think it just looks a bit more shadowy, a bit more interesting than just white. And what some people would do is get their white pen and draw a white line around the bottom so that it disappears. So it looks even more snowy. I could do that, but then I find that all the other lines that I haven't covered over sort of stand out and look like they need covering, and then you end up doing the whole thing and I end up making a big mess. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is think about, what's this smoke coming out of the chimney? I'm going to grab this pink. This is the light purple pink, and I'm going to make it pink smoke. Why? I don't know. It's candy floss, I'm thinking. Cotton candy smoke. There we go. Why ever not? I'm going to put some little blobs in it, and I don't know why. Who knows why she's done that? Now I'm going to get the jelly roll, and I am going to write on the word Xmas because it's too pale to, you can't see it. Don't expect me to talk. I think I should have a face cam on. You could see my tongue sticking out as I do this. It would give you a good laugh. Oh, you can't read that. A, so hard. It's a bit faint, isn't it? Oh, it's the train. I don't know what it should have looked like now. I've made a bit of a mess. Hopefully you've done yours better. But I'm going to leave it there before I make even more of a mess. We do have some sort of stars and bits here, but they go throughout the whole picture, so I'm not going to do them now. When I get round to finishing this page, probably on my own rather than with you guys, I'm not sure yet, I will probably do all those after. But this has been quite long today, hasn't it, this video? But I've had a lot of fun. I hope that's okay. You should be able to easily find a gingerbread house to colour, so hopefully it's given you a few ideas. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and happy colouring.